Ken Burkholder here in Boise, Idaho on the Norvise, and today we're going to do a brief demonstration of how to tie a Burkus Baetis emerger. It's a CDC type emerging pattern, and we start off with a Daiichi 1130 size 16. This is a good all-round size hook for this fly. They get smaller and they get sometimes a little bigger, but for all intents and purposes this particular size is an all-round good size to have. So with 8/0 gray Danville's thread, we're just going to make a slight base in front of the eye. With some Zelon material or any nylon type trailing shuck material, we're going to have a moderately good length of this and use the front part for the legs and the rear for the trailing shuck. So I'm going to invert this vise and tie this on right behind the eye. And we want this material to be right for the legs, right underneath the hook. We transfer the material for the legs, for the tail on top of the hook, and advance your thread. We want the thread to go quite a ways down to the bend of the hook because we want the curved look of the emerging insect. We want the bottom end, the hook end, to be sitting in the water, like so. This material is a great blue heron biot, and these can be found along rivers in riparian zones where great blue herons reside. It's a fairly common feather. They aren't that difficult to find, and it has a particularly fine barbed texture to it. It's a really good material for bluing olives. Just tie this on right in front of the tail. Grab the ends with a hackle plier. And just with enough tension, you'll wind this on forward. That's where this Norvise is particularly handy. It excels above all other vices for this method. For this task, these barbs are so fine that if I were to go up and around many times, the likelihood of me breaking the material would be great. Now just simply tie this off. And we want to reinforce the body with the thread. Trim the remaining biot. With a little Nature's Spirit slate wool dubbing, will form a thorax. Notice The diameter of the thorax, it's about twice as large as the abdomen. And then notice how much room I have left to finish the fly. So we invert this. We take the leg material and we fold it back and tie it off tightly right in front of the thorax. Using 4 matched CDC goose feathers. These are particularly nice because some of them have a little bit of a white tip to them, and if you select those, you'll have a fly that will be a little more visible to the naked eye on the water. With the tips forward, tie it on right in front of the dubbing. Now we're going to take the feathers and bring them back and elevate them and wind the thread in front of it to keep them elevated. My leg material out of the way. See how that is? Right in front of the feather. And this will elevate it, which is what we want. And we tie it off. We trim the butt ends of the CDC kind of short above the ball for the thorax. That's the wing case. The legs, you cut right about at the point of the hook, and then just cut the trailing shuck about the length of the abdomen. To make a more durable fly, we'll put a little drop of super glue right here so it won't come apart. Now these flies you don't grease. These are all natural CDC feathers that have not been processed. And the best product to have in your vest or on your person when you're fishing is frog's fanny. To revive the CDC, it's a great product. That's a very simple, very effective bluing olive emerger pattern. And they love them for cripples. They prefer cripples to duns usually. And I've caught hundreds of trout on this fly.